Okay, very good morning, children. Yesterday we completed inflorescence. Now today class we are going to start one of the new topic of the fifth chapter, morphology of flowering plants. New chapter about the flower. But what are the parts are there in flower? How the flower is useful for reproduction process? Everything we are going to discuss in this class. So okay, today's topic flower. Okay, flower. But what are the parts are there flower? So especially you can see flower is the reproductive unit in angiosperms, especially in angiosperms. Okay, especially in angiosperms, flower is the main reproductive unit. Flower is the reproductive unit. Flower is the reproductive unit. Flower is the reproductive unit in angiosperms. Especially it is meant for sexual reproduction. The flower is very useful. It is meant for sexual reproduction. The sexual reproduction is carried out through the flowers only. So it has, the flower has four different kinds of the roles. The flower having four different kinds of the roles, means circles. This having four different kinds of the roles arranged successively on the solen end of the pedicel, means stalk. Already you know that flower having a stalk. The stalk is called what? The stalk of the flower is called what? Pedicel. The stalk of the flower is called pedicel. So these pedicel become solen, and this pedicel having four different kinds of the rolls. Okay, which are arranged which are arranged very near to near. Okay, in successive manner. So at the solen tip of the pedicel, they having four rolls. These four rolls having four different kinds of the floral parts. Okay, so these solen floral stalk, this solen stalk pedicel is called thalamus. So the stalk should be bulged. The solen stalk means pedicel. The pedicel that should be bulged. On the bulged pedicel, that is called thalamus. And the thalamus, four rolls are there. On each roll, each different part is there. Okay. What is that? Thalamus. On the thalamus only. What is thalamus? Thalamus is the solen part of the stalk, means pedicel. On the solen part thalamus, and the thalamus only four different rolls are there, and four different rolls means four circles, and the four circles four floral parts are arranged in four circles. So the solen stalk, the solen pedicel, that is called thalamus. On the thalamus only these four parts arranged. Each part is represented with one roll, one circle. Four circles, four rolls are there. Each roll, each floral part is present. So that is the thalamus, and the thalamus only floral parts are developed on the thalamus. But what are the floral parts? But what are the four floral parts which are present on the thalamus in four different roles? But what are the four parts? Calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. These are the four parts: calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. These are the four floral parts: calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. Here you can see calyx and corolla are accessory organs. Calyx and corolla are accessory organs. Accessory organs. But whereas androecium and gynoecium, these are reproductive organs. Androecium and gynoecium, these are reproductive organs. Calyx, corolla are accessory organs. Androecium, gynoecium are reproductive organs. Okay. So, suppose, especially in lily, the calyx, corolla, these are not distincted, these are similar. Okay, and are termed as perianth. Especially in lily flower, you can see in lily flower, calyx, corolla, between the calyx, corolla there is no differentiation, there is no difference. These are not distinct. So both are appearing same. The termed as perianth. So there is no difference between calyx and corolla. Especially in lilies, calyx and corolla similar. So they are termed as perianth. Suppose, okay, they are termed as perianth. Suppose if the flower having both androecium and gynoecium, the flower is called bisexual flower. The flower is called bisexual flower. Suppose if the flower having only either androecium or either gynoecium, that is called unisexual flower. Suppose if the flower having only androecium male part, that is called male flower. Suppose if the flower having only gynoecium, that is called female flower. Okay. So the flower which having all these four parts, that is complete flower. If any of these one role is missing, that is incomplete flower. Complete flower means the flower which having four roles with floral parts. That is complete flower. If any of these missing is, that is incomplete flower. And especially you can see androecium is the male part, gynoecium is the female part. If the flower which contain androecium and gynoecium, that is bisexual flower. If the flower which contain only either androecium or gynoecium, only one of these contain, that is called unisexual flower. In unisexual, male flower, female flower. Male flower means that contain only androecium. Female flower only contain gynoecium. So this is about the basic information of the flower. And one more thing here you can remember, based on the symmetry, flowers are mainly three types. Based on symmetry, flowers are mainly three types. But what is the symmetry? Now you can see. But what is the symmetry? So when a flower can be divided into two equal radial halves, equal half parts. Suppose if the flower actinomorphic. But what is actinomorphic? Based on symmetry, flowers are mainly three types. But what is actinomorphic? If the flower can be divided into two equal radial halves, if the flower can be divided into two equal radial halves. Means half parts. Halves means half part. If the flower divided into two equal radial halves in any radial plane passing through the center, we can divide the flower into two equal radial halves. So that type of the flower is called actinomorphic. Two equal radial halves, any radial plane passing through the center. Any radial plane, any radial plane passing, any radial plane passing through center, means finally we can divide the flower into two equal radial halves. So that type of the flower is called actinomorphic. Okay, that type of the flower is called actinomorphic. Best example, mustard, datura. Best example of these actinomorphic. Best examples, mustard and datura. Datura stramoni. Datura. Mustard and datura. Especially in these flowers, you can see we can divide the two equal halves in any radial plane passing through the center. You can divide the flower into two equal radial halves. Best examples, mustard and datura. So that is actinomorphic. But what is zygomorphic? If the flower is divided into two equal halves, but only one particular vertical plane, from only one particular vertical plane, only one particular vertical plane. So that is zygomorphic. Only we can divide the flower into two equal halves, but not any direction. Only in particular vertical plane. On that particular vertical plane only we can divide the flower into two equal halves. That is called zygomorphic. Okay. Best example, peas, beans and cassia. Peas, beans, cassia. Peas, beans and cassia auriculator. Okay, these are the examples zygomorphic. Not any direction, just only one particular vertical plane only you can divide the flower into two equal halves. That is zygomorphic. But what is asymmetric? Third one. But what is asymmetric? What is asymmetric? Asymmetric means we cannot divide the flower into two equal halves in any vertical plane. It is not possible to divide the flower into two equal halves in any vertical plane. Okay. We can't divide in any vertical plane. That is asymmetric. The flower is called asymmetric. There is no symmetry in flower. That's why it is unable to divide the flower into two equal halves in any vertical plane. Not only one particular. In any vertical plane. Through any vertical plane we can't divide the flower into two equal halves. So that type of the flower is called asymmetric. The best example, Kenna indica. One type of the lotus, Kenna indica. Best example, Kenna indica. Best example, Kenna indica. So this is about the symmetry. Based on the symmetry, flowers are mainly three types. First one is actinomorphic. Second one is zygomorphic. Third one is asymmetric. Okay, these are the based on the symmetry, flowers are mainly three types. Examples you can remember. Actinomorphic example, datura and mustard. Zygomorphic example, peas, beans, cassia auriculator. Asymmetric example, Kenna indica. Okay, these are the examples. For example, if the flower may be trimerous, tetramerous or pentamerous, if the floral parts are multiple of 3, 4, 5. Suppose if the floral parts are, all the floral parts are in the number of 3. Suppose if the all floral parts are present in the number of 4. Suppose if the all floral parts are present in the number of 5. So based on this number, how many number of the floral parts are there? Based on this number, how many floral parts are there? Based on this number. Suppose in some plants they are having 3 calyx, corolla, whatever may be. They are having 3 floral parts, floral appendages in the numbers of 3, in the numbers of 4, in the numbers of 5. So that type of the flower may be trimerous. For example, floral parts having the number of 3. So that is called trimerous. Suppose the floral parts, the floral appendages having the number 4, that is tetramerous. Suppose the floral parts having all floral appendages having the number 5, so that is called pentamerous. Okay, that is pentamerous. So especially the floral appendages, the floral parts are multiple of 3, 4, 5. So that is represented as, for example, if the floral parts are having multiple of 3, they are called trimerous. The floral parts are multiple of 4, they are called tetramerous. If the floral parts are present multiple of 5, that are pentamerous. So that is the trimerous, tetramerous, pentamerous, based on the number of multiples of 3, 4, 5 of the floral appendages. Here you can see some flowers having bract on the pedicel, on the stalk. Some flowers having bract. So that type of the flowers are called bracteate. The flowers which having bract, are called bracteate. The flowers which not having bract, they are called abracteate. Okay, based on the bract, 2 types flowers, bracteate and abracteate. Okay, this is about the based on the bract, flowers are 2 types, bracteate and abracteate. Okay, bracteate and abracteate. Okay, next Nani, from the important topic continuation in this only. Okay. Bracteate and abracteate. Here you can see based on the position of calyx, corolla, androecium and thalamus. Based on the position of calyx, corolla, androecium and the thalamus in respect of the ovary. And compared to ovary, how the remaining parts are arranged. Based on this concept, flowers are mainly divided into 3 types. Based on the position of calyx, corolla, androecium with respect to the ovary. The flowers are described as mainly 3 types: hypogynous, perigynous, epigynous. Okay, hypogynous. Okay, first one is what, Nani? Hypogynous. First one is hypogynous. Second one is perigynous. Second one is perigynous. Third one is epigynous. Epigynous. Okay. So based on the position of calyx corolla androecium with respect to the position of the ovary. With respect to the position of the ovary, how these three parts are arranged. So based on this concept, flowers are mainly three types. First one is hypogynous, perigynous, epigynous. But what is hypogynous? Okay. But what is hypogynous? Here you can see in this hypogynous, here you can see this is the position of the ovary. This is the position of the ovary now. So based on the position of the ovary, how the remaining parts are arranged. Here you can see how the remaining parts are arranged. So how androeciums are arranged, stamens are arranged. Okay, and how sepals are arranged, and how these petals are arranged. Okay. So based on the position of the calyx corolla androecium with respect to the ovary, this is the thalamus, this is the stalk. So based on this concept here, flowers are mainly three types. One is hypogynous, perigynous, epigynous. But what is first hypogynous? Then after you can see perigynous. Then after you can see perigynous. And what is perigynous? Once you can see here, this is the perigynous. Here okay, this is the hypogynous, perigynous and epigynous. But what is epigynous? What is epigynous? Okay, what is epigynous? Okay, but what is epigynous? What is epigynous? Okay. What is epigynous? Okay, Rani. These are the three diagrams which represent the hypogynous, perigynous and epigynous. Here you can see clearly what is hypogynous. First one hypogynous, second one perigynous, third one epigynous. So here you can see this is the thalamus now. This is the thalamus. Okay, this is the ovary. Okay, this is the ovary. These are the stamen, sepals, petals. Already you know the parts. Okay. So here, what is hypogynous? Okay. In this hypogynous flower, the gynoecium occupies the highest position. The gynoecium, here this is the gynoecium. Stigma, style, ovary, this is the gynoecium. In this epigynous flower, the gynoecium occupies the highest position while the other parts are arranged below it. The other parts are situated below it. Here you can see the gynoecium occupied the highest position. The remaining parts are situated below the gynoecium. You can see below the gynoecium only stamens are developed. Below the gynoecium only petals are developed. Below the gynoecium only sepals are developed. Okay. So here the gynoecium occupied the highest position. The remaining floral parts, calyx, corolla, androecium, that are situated below the gynoecium, means below the ovary. Remaining parts are present below the ovary only. So this type of the flower is called hypogynous flower. So this type of the ovary in these flowers, this type of the ovary is called superior ovary. This type of the ovary is called superior ovary. Superior ovary. This type of the ovary is called superior ovary. Superior means it is in upper part, where the remaining parts are having lower parts. This is present in upper region, remaining parts are present in lower region. Means below the ovary only all parts are arising. Ovary is the highest position. Okay, that is superior ovary. Best example, mustard and China rose, hibiscus. Best example, mustard and hibiscus. Best example, mustard and hibiscus. Best example, mustard and hibiscus. Okay, next one, what about the perigynous? Second one, perigynous. In this perigynous flower, the gynoecium is situated at the center. Here you can see, gynoecium is situated at the center. The gynoecium is situated in the center. The remaining other parts of the flowers are developed on the rim of the thalamus. Rim of the thalamus. Here this is the rim of the thalamus. Okay. So here gynoecium is present at the center of the flower. Gynoecium is present at the center of the flower. The remaining parts are arranged at the rim of the thalamus. Here this is the rim of the thalamus. This is the rim of the thalamus. On the rim of the thalamus, the remaining parts are arranged. But gynoecium is present at the center of the cell. The remaining parts are arranged on the rim of thalamus. So this type of the flower is called perigynous flower. This type of the ovary is called half superior, half inferior ovary. This type of the ovary is called half superior, half inferior ovary. Half superior, half inferior. Half superior, half inferior ovary. Okay. Neither superior nor inferior. Half superior, half inferior ovary. So this type of the ovary is called half superior and half inferior ovary. Best example you can see rose. Best example you can see rose. Okay. Best example you can see rose. Best example you can see in rose. Okay. So next, third one, epigynous. In this epigynous flower, you can see in epigynous flowers the margin of the thalamus completely upward. The margin of the thalamus grows upward and completely enclose the ovary and getting fused with the ovary, while other parts are arranged above the ovary. Other parts are arranged above the ovary. Because here, especially the margin of the thalamus grows upwards. The margin of the thalamus grows upwards and it encloses the ovary and is completely united the ovary. The remaining parts are arranged above the ovary. Okay. So here, in this type, and the margin of thalamus completely grows upwards and encloses the ovary. It is fused with the ovary. It is united with the ovary. Okay, and getting fused with the ovary. Margin of the thalamus grows upwards and enclosed into the ovary, completely getting fused with the ovary. The remaining floral parts are arranged above the ovary. So in these plants, this type of the ovary is called inferior ovary, means below, low, below. In this type of the flowers, the position of the ovary is inferior. Inferior, the position of the ovary is inferior ovary. Remaining all parts are present above the ovary. So this type of the flower is called epigynous flower. Epigynous flower. So best example, guava, cucumber, ray florets of sunflower. Guava. Okay, cucumber. Guava, cucumber, and ray florets of sunflower. Ray florets of sunflower. Okay, ray florets of sunflower. So this is about the hypogynous, perigynous and epigynous flowers based on the position of the floral parts with respect to the ovary. Superior ovary, half superior, half inferior ovary, inferior ovary. Okay, this is the three types of the ovaries. Three types of the ovaries. Okay, this is the three types of the ovaries. Okay. Examples also you can remind, children. What are the examples? 3 examples are there. So these examples also you can remind. So today class we discussed about the especially information about the flower based on the symmetry, how flowers are classified, based on the position of the ovary, how flowers are classified. So far we discussed in this class. Okay. Next class we are going to discuss about with the detailed information of floral parts. About calyx, about corolla, androecium, gynoecium we will discuss in tomorrow class. Thank you, children.